Urgent Las Vegas Raiders fans. Do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because here, we bring you daily videos with the latest Las Vegas Raiders updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Alright, folks, today we're diving into a story that's been making waves across the NFL and, of course, hitting close to home for us Raiders fans. It's about a player who, despite a tough start and some rocky moments in his career, is now trying to turn things around and maybe, just maybe, get another shot in the league. And that player is Damon Arnette. Now, I know what you're thinking, Arnette? Didn't he have a rough run with the Raiders? Well, yes, he did. But what's fascinating about this story is not just the player's past struggles, but the potential future that might be unfolding right before our eyes. Damon Arnette was a first-round pick back in 2020, selected by the Raiders with hopes that he would be a cornerstone of our secondary for years to come. But as many of you remember, things didn't go as planned. His time in Las Vegas was marred by inconsistency on the field, and unfortunately, some off-the-field issues that became a distraction for the team. You see, football is a game of inches, a game of trust, and when a player struggles to maintain both his form and his discipline, it affects everything. Arnette's tenure with the Raiders was cut short in 2021, and he found himself bouncing around a bit, trying to find his footing again. He briefly signed with the Kansas City Chiefs in early 2022, but that was more of a short-term deal, and he never got the chance to show what he could really do on the gridiron. And now, here's where the story gets interesting. Damon Arnette is currently trying to make a comeback, but not in the NFL, at least not yet. He's playing with the Houston Roughnecks in the United Football League, a league that's been steadily growing and giving players like Arnette a second chance to prove themselves. Recently, Arnette sat down with Aaron Wilson of Click 2 Houston. Calm and opened up about his journey, his struggles, and the changes he's made in his life. And let me tell you, what he said is pretty remarkable. He explained, 1, I had to take a look in the mirror, and that's a powerful statement. Because sometimes, it's only when you face yourself and truly reflect on your actions that real change begins. Arnette admitted he had to make some serious life adjustments, surround himself with his support system again, and rebuild that foundation. He emphasized how important that was because, in his words, navigating the NFL and the professional sports world without a solid support system is dangerous. He's learned his lessons the hard way, and he's now committed to staying on the right track. That kind of humility and self-awareness is what catches the attention of teams, especially those looking for reliable depth at cornerback. Now, Arnette's current contract with the Houston Roughnecks means he can't sign with an NFL team until his season with the UFL ends, which is expected to happen in June. But once that season wraps up, the door could be wide open for him to return to the league, and guess what? Rumors and reports are already swirling about which teams might be interested. And here's where it gets even more intriguing for us Raiders fans. One team that's been mentioned as a potential landing spot for Arnette is the Dallas Cowboys. That's right, our NFC East rivals, who are also looking to bolster their secondary, especially given the injury concerns that have plagued their cornerbacks. The Cowboys, as you guys know, have a pretty solid core led by Trayvon Diggs, who's coming back from knee surgery, and they recently traded for Kaiir Elam, but depth is still an issue. We all remember how important a reliable backup can be, especially in the NFL, where injuries are part of the game. The Cowboys have a history of giving players second chances. Think of players like Anthony Brown or even recent draft picks who've had to prove themselves. Jerry Jones, the owner, is known for his talent for spotting potential and giving players a shot to redeem themselves. Now, Trayvon Diggs' situation is a bit uncertain. He's been dealing with some injury setbacks, torn ACLs, knee issues, and that puts his availability for the upcoming season in question. That's a big deal, especially for a team that's been competitive but needs more veteran presence in the secondary. Arnette, with his experience and the fact that he's now matured and learned from his past mistakes, could be exactly what the Cowboys need as a reliable backup or even as a rotational piece. It's a classic second chance story that resonates with the NFL's culture. The league has always been a place where redemption can happen, and players who show they've turned a corner often find their way back onto rosters. And let's not forget, Arnette's story isn't just about football. It's about resilience, growth, and the power of second chances. Because, after all, the NFL is a league that values talent but also values character and the ability to learn and grow. If Arnette can continue to develop and demonstrate that he's serious about staying on the right path, there's no reason he can't find a place back in the league, possibly even with a team like the Cowboys. Imagine the scene: a player who once struggled, who faced his demons, now working his way back, potentially wearing a new jersey and contributing in ways that could surprise us all. That's what makes stories like this so compelling and why fans love to follow the journey of redemption. But of course, it's not just about Arnette. When we look at the Raiders this season, the secondary is a big question mark. Trayvon Diggs returning from injury is a huge boost, but his health status is still a concern. The team has made some moves in the offseason, bringing in new players and trying to bolster the depth chart, but injuries and inexperience remain issues. Devastating injuries like Diggs' ACL tear last year have shown how fragile the secondary can be. It's a position that requires veteran presence and versatility, especially in today's NFL, where passing offenses are so dynamic and talented. The Raiders, with a new coaching staff and a roster eager to prove itself, are definitely looking for consistency and reliability in the back end. And speaking of the Raiders, the franchise's recent history has been a roller coaster. From the tumultuous departure of John Gruden to the coaching changes and roster rebuilds, the team is in a phase of strategic rebuilding, trying to find its identity and return to playoff contention. The defense, in particular, has been a work in progress. Adding players who can bring stability, experience, and a winning mindset is crucial. That's why a player like Arnette, who has NFL experience and has shown flashes of talent, can be a valuable piece if he's able to bring his best on and off the field. This season, all eyes will be on the Raiders' secondary. Will we see a more cohesive unit? Will our young cornerbacks step up and make a difference? Or will we need that veteran presence, that steadying influence that players like Arnette could bring? It's a storyline that's unfolding right now, and fans are eager to see how it all plays out. The NFL is a league of second chances, and sometimes, a player's career can be resurrected in the most unexpected ways. Arnette's journey is a perfect example of that. He's working hard, trying to rebuild trust and prove that he belongs in this league. And with the right opportunity, who knows? Maybe he'll be back in the NFL sooner than we think, making a fresh start and helping a team reach new heights. And let's take a moment to appreciate the bigger picture here. The NFL ecosystem is always evolving, and stories of redemption are what make the sport so compelling. Every year, players who faced setbacks come back stronger, and teams that are willing to take a chance can find hidden gems. It's a cycle of hope, resilience, and renewal. The Raiders, known for their rich history and legendary personalities, have always been a team that embodies that spirit. Whether it's a rookie stepping up or a veteran returning from adversity, the franchise's DNA is all about overcoming obstacles and rising again. Now, for us fans, the excitement is in the anticipation. Will Damon Arnette get another shot in the league? Could he be wearing a Raiders jersey again, or perhaps joining another team that sees his potential? The truth is, we don't have all the answers yet, but what we do know is that his story isn't over. And that's what makes this whole saga so fascinating. The NFL is a league of stories, stories of triumph and tragedy, of setbacks and comebacks. And right now, Arnette's journey is a shining example of the latter. His efforts to turn things around, his willingness to seek redemption, and his hope that he can still make it in the league are inspiring. So, as we follow this story, I encourage all of you to stay tuned, because the next chapter could be written very soon. Whether it's with the Raiders or another NFL team, Damon Arnette's comeback could be one of the most compelling narratives of the year. And for us Raiders fans, it's a reminder that this team is always about more than just wins and losses. It's about resilience, perseverance, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. We've seen players rise from the ashes before, and I truly believe that Arnette's story isn't finished yet. Keep your eyes on the NFL news, because there's a good chance we'll be hearing more about him very soon. And now, Las Vegas Raiders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this whole situation? Do you think Arnette deserves another shot in the league? Could he be the missing piece in a team's secondary? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion truly matters to us and to the Raiders community. We're all in this together, rooting for our team and the players who wear the silver and black. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with even more updates, insights, and stories from around the NFL and the Raiders. So, stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep the spirit alive. The season's just around the corner, and with stories like these, it's shaping up to be one of the most exciting yet. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.